Hello everyone, I'm Fidel Johnson. Today, I want to speak about something that silently affects thousands of young people and families every single day. Communication between parents and children. Many homes today are full of people, but empty of understanding. Many children are living in the same house as their parents, eating together, smiling together, but emotionally they feel completely alone. And many parents genuinely love their children, but they don't know how to understand what their children is feeling inside. A child may look normal outside but mentally struggling every night. A parent may look strict outside but secretly be worried and afraid for their child's future. The problem is not always lack of love. Sometimes the problem is lack of communication. When we were small children, we used to tell our parents everything, every small happiness, every small fear, every tiny problem. They were our safest place. But as we grow older, something changes. Slowly, silence enters in the relationship. The child feels misunderstood, the parent feels ignored, and distance begins to grow inside the same house. There are young people today who want to speak to their parents but don't know how. They try once and maybe they are interrupted. Maybe they are judged too quickly. Maybe their emotions are dismissed, and after that, they slowly stop opening their heart. And there are parents who desperately wanted their children to talk to them, but sometimes their questions sound like pressure instead of care. Sometimes advice comes before listening, sometimes anger comes before understanding. The truth is, communication is not just talking. Communication is making another person feel safe enough to be honest. A young boy once wanted to tell his parents that he was mentally exhausted from his studies and pressure. For weeks, he kept thinking about how to say it. One evening, he finally gathered the courage and started speaking. But before he could explain properly, his father interrupted him and said, "You are just overthinking. In our time, we never complained like this." The boy became silent immediately. He nodded and went to his room. The night he cried alone, not because his father hated him, but because he felt unheard. Many young people today are not asking for perfect parents. They are simply asking for someone who listens without immediately judging them. And parents too have pain. Many parents sacrifice silently every single day. They work hard, worry constantly, and carry responsibilities that children may never fully understand. Some parents become strict not because they hate their children, but because they are afraid the world will hurt them. That is why understanding must happen from both sides. Communication is like building a bridge. If one side stops trying, the distance becomes bigger. Sometimes young people say, "My parents never understand me," but at the same time, parents often feel, "My child never talks to me anymore." Both sides are hurting silently while waiting for the other person to change first. One of the biggest mistakes families make is speaking only during problems. Real connection is built during ordinary moments, during meals, small conversations, walks together, laughter, sharing moments. Relationships become stronger not only during serious talks, but during simple daily interactions. There are children today who spend hours talking online but cannot speak honestly for 5 minutes. And there are parents who provide everything materially but forget to emotionally connect with their children. Money can't build a house, but communication builds a family. One girl was struggling emotionally in school. She felt pressure, anxiety, and loneliness. Every day her parents asked her, "How was school?" And every day she replied, "Fine." Not because she was actually fine, but because she didn't know how to explain what she was feeling. One evening, her mother stopped giving advice and simply sat beside her quietly. Not lecture, no pressure, just presence. After a few minutes, the girl slowly started crying and opened her heart completely. Sometimes people don't need solutions first, they need safety first. Many parents try to fix their children before fully listening to them, but healing often begins when someone feels hurt. And young people also need to understand something important. Parents are human too. They make mistakes. Sometimes they see the wrong things. Sometimes they don't fully understand modern pressures. But many of them are trying in the only way they know. Instead of reacting with anger immediately, sometimes we must learn patience and timing. Timing matters deeply in communication. If someone is stressed, tired, angry, or emotionally overwhelmed, even good advice can sound harsh. Wisdom is knowing not only what you say, but when to say. Imagine trying to have a deep emotional conversation when both sides are frustrated. The conversation will likely become an argument. Instead of understanding, that is why emotional maturity is important. Sometimes saying, "Can we talk later?" when we are both calm is wiser than continuing an argument emotionally. Some children stop talking because they fear punishment. Some parents stop listening because they feel disrespected. And slowly, silence becomes normal inside the house. But silence can become dangerous because when children start speaking to parents, they often start searching for understanding in unhealthy places. Wrong friendships, social media validation, addiction, isolation, depression. That is why communication inside family is not just important, it is protection. A child who feels emotionally safe at home is less likely to search for emotional escape outside. A parent also need appreciation. Sometimes children only notice the strictness but forget the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the worries, the hidden tears, the prayers parents make for their children. Many parents act strong outside while silently carrying fear about their children's future. The problem is both generations are hurting but expressing it differently. One expresses through silence, the other expresses through control. But underneath both is love. Real communication requires humility from both sides. Sometimes parents must learn to listen more. Sometimes children must learn to speak respectfully even when it's emotional. Because shouting may release emotions for a moment, but calm communication builds understanding. Many families today argue not because they hate each other, but because nobody feels understood. Words are powerful. One harsh sentence can create emotional distance for years, but one understanding conversation can heal years of silence. Imagine how many broken relationships could heal if people simply listen without preparing a counter argument immediately. Communication is not winning, communication is understanding. And one important truth many people forget is do not always need perfect words. Honest words are enough. Some children avoid opening up because they fear sounding weak. Some parents avoid emotional conversations because they fear losing authority. But vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability builds trust. A family becomes emotionally strong when people can safely express pain without fear of humiliation. One father realized his son had become emotionally distant. Instead of scolding him, he invited him for a simple drive one evening. No pressure, no interrogation, just conversation. Slowly, the son opened up about his struggles, insecurities, and fears. Sometimes, difficult conversation becomes easier side by side rather than face to face. That is why small efforts matter. Eating together matters. Checking on someone matters. Listening matters. Apologizing matters. Yes, even parents apologizing matters sometimes. And children apologizing matters too. Ego destroys many relationships that love could have saved. And let us be honest. Today's world is emotionally exhausting for young people. Academic pressure, social media comparison, fear of failure, loneliness, identity struggles, anxiety, relationship pain, future uncertainty. Many young people are smiling online while silently struggling mentally. That is why parents should not only ask, "Did you eat?" but also, "Are you okay emotionally?" And children should not assume their parents are enemies. Sometimes parents speak strongly because fear is speaking through them. Families become stronger when both sides stop trying to win and start trying to understand. Some of the strongest people in the world are not those who never cry, but those who finally learn to speak honestly about what they feel. Communication can save relationships. Communication can prevent depression. Communication can heal emotional wounds. Communication can rebuild trust. Never underestimate the power of one honest conversation. If you are a young person listening today, I want to tell you this. Please don't give up. Try to communicate with your parents, even if it feels difficult sometimes. Find the right moment. Speak calmly. Speak honestly. And remember, your emotions matter. And if you are a parent listening today, please understand this deeply. Sometimes your child's silence is not disrespect. Sometimes it is emotional fear, confusion, or pain they don't know how to express. Your child may not always need immediate advice. Sometimes they simply need your presence, patience, and understanding. One safe conversation can change someone's life forever. Imagine a home where children feel emotionally safe. Imagine parents who listening patiently. Imagine families where honesty is welcomed instead of punishment. That kind of home becomes a place of healing instead of fear. At the end of life, people rarely regret spending too much time listening to loved ones, but many regret the conversation they never had. So please speak kindly, listen patiently, understand deeply, and never allow ego to become bigger than love. Because family is not only about living together, family is about understanding each other emotionally. Thank you. This is Fidel Johnson. And always remember this powerful truth. Sometimes the conversation you are avoiding is a conversation that could heal you. Thank you. Bye.